Hey everybody, it's Thea and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Garden Goddess Tarot. I just kind of want to have a sit down, chat, and chill kind of, just like, you know, having coffee with a friend. And in fact, I do have some coffee today, so hopefully it adds to the realism. And it sounds like we're gonna get a smudge as well. Hi, sweetie. You come to hang too. Anywho, so I just want to talk a little bit about the decks I'm using, what I've been up to this last month, what's new, all that jazz, without putting too much pressure on myself to make it a video specifically about something. So let's try it. It should be fun. So as I said, I'm gonna make a little moment of it. I've got my favorite incense going right now, which is forest patchouli, if anybody's curious. I'm gonna light a candle. Sweet little baby. And I got my Florida water, which is summer in a bottle. I only use this stuff in the summer, and it feels like, I don't know how to describe it other than that it is my summer thing. I use it kind of like in a clearing kind of way too, just to kind of set the space and have it be, I don't know, it feels like warm and fresh and welcoming and just nice. So anyway, Florida water, my summer thing. And I think also I've got a wee bit of Palo Santo that we're gonna do the thing. Set the space, just make it feel ideal, you know? So how have you been? I know I have talked about before potentially doing update videos more often than just once a month, but life, man, it does the thing. It gets in, well, it doesn't get in the way, but it happens quickly and when you're not paying attention as well. To place us firmly in space and time as well, our deck end today. Happy Leo season, by the way. All you other Leo babies out there. I'm feeling it. I think I was excited for Cancer season, but now the Cancer season's over, I'm kind of like, okay. Anyway, here's our deck-in for today. The first deck-in of Leo is Five of Wands, Lord of Strife, which is Saturn in Leo, which is the world or the universe card, and Fortitude, which is strength, which in this case is at number 11 in the Hermetic Tarot. The Great One of the Night of Time is the universe, and Daughter of the Flaming Sword is the Fortitude / Strength card, which is our Leo card. So that's where we are right now. And yeah, no, I'm feeling good. There's a lot, as I said, there's a lot going on. I can't wait to share. I have some very exciting news actually to talk about. It's kind of all encompassing at the moment actually, but we'll get to it. There's time. I've got a couple of new decks in recently actually. But to be quite honest, I haven't really been using them. I've basically just kind of been leaning on my staples, the ones I've been using ad nauseum since the dawn of time. So we're gonna talk about those ones. Specifically, the old Rider-Waite-Smith. Now this is a Centennial edition, and this one is exclusively the one I use when I'm reading for other people. And on that front as well, when it comes to reading for other people, I have basically found myself in the position to have been filling the spot of house reader at the shop I work at. So I am now their chief tarot reader, which is awesome. So basically from now on, starting Tuesday nights, I'll be doing readings each for 2 hours. You can book a spot each week, and it'll be more of a regular and routine as opposed to a sporadic thing, which is really exciting. And I've been doing quite a few readings for people lately, and they've been great, like in-person ones too, not just distance readings. I love doing distance readings as well, but there is something to be said about getting a good reading from someone who's right there with you. You get more of a conversational aspect to it, a little bit more interjection, a little bit more rhythm per se. It's just really nice, and I just love the opportunity to connect with people. So yeah, I've been using the old Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Centennial, and I've been doing my 9-card spread of doom, which I love. It's so, like, it's perfect, the perfect amount of detail, and it gives lots of opportunity for interconnectedness between the cards, and it's been a treat. So I've been loving helping people. Like, people come with all sorts of problems, and just being able to offer guidance through those is just, it's really nice. I really enjoy it. So yeah, if you're in the area, anywhere near me, and are around the cove, come by, see me Tuesday nights for Tarot Tuesdays. which I will say is a name that I may or may not have borrowed from Rebecca at Blooming Witch. If you're not following her, she is a delight, and she's been doing Tarot Tuesdays for like years now. Basically just like a little quick tarot message every Tuesday, and it's delightful. And yeah, we were doing it on Tuesdays, and I'm like, well, looks like we gotta call it this. So yeah, Tarot Tuesdays at the Cove. I'm your girl. Otherwise, if you are looking for a reading, my website is down below, which I recently launched and is now official. Have a look there if you want a, you know, I can look after you, and I can use whichever deck you want, not just this one. But it's funny, the Rider-Waite-Smith, when doing readings in public, this is the deck that people tend to gravitate towards. Even if I have like a whole whack of them, I'm like, pick. This one is the most familiar, and I feel like it has a place in the collective unconsciousness of the general populace. So it's one people feel most comfortable with and tend to gravitate to more for readings anyway. So that works well, and I find that a very interesting relationship between like people who know nothing about tarot but have still seen these images, you know, at some point in their lives, and maybe they didn't like firmly remember, but you know, it's in there, it's floating around in their little mind brains, and they're comforted by seeing them again in a neat way. So I like its place for that. Like really no other deck can come in and take that place, because this one is just so ubiquitous with what the West considers tarot right now. So it's very cool, very cool. And like maybe as more and more decks get used more regularly in this new tarot boom, this time of the great tarot expansion, it'll become more like in the public sphere, more, you know, instead of it just being angel cards, tarot cards, we'll start incorporating a lot more of these other decks. But for the most part, this is the one that just, you know, jumps to people's minds every time, and it's so neat. Super cool. So yeah, that's exciting news. I'm doing readings way more often, and it's just, it feels right, it feels great, and I really enjoy it. Like things have just been lining up really nicely lately, which is odd because they don't always do that. Usually it's an uphill battle, and I am braced for it as our deck is strife right now. But yeah, no, the universe is cooperating right now. It's setting things in motion. Things are happening, so I'm not fighting it. I'm going with the flow. Should be a fun time. The other deck that I really like to add to the Rider-Waite-Smith fun reading for people, if I want a little extra flourish on top, like a little quick message to kind of wrap up the theme of the reading, one that's, you know, the illuminated earth. It works every time. I have nothing but good experiences with this. It's the perfect kind of clarity that I need when I'm looking to either flesh out the meaning of a spread, or if I just want a little bow to wrap it up in at the end. It's beautiful, and it's a great earthy energy that a lot of people resonate with. So the keywords are phenomenal. They're just so good, and yeah, this and the Rider-Waite-Smith, and like, you may not think they go together super well aesthetically, but energetically they're perfect. Like I have so many tarot decks, and I'm still using these two. What's the matter with me? But yeah, like when it comes to reading for other people, this is kind of really what I like. It keeps it simple, and a lot of the time the people who come to me are not looking for a rainbow of tapestry of cards that's all confusing. What they have is a little problem, or a big problem, an issue, an event, a situation that they just want some guidance on, and they could care less what the pictures on the cards are. So they just want the message. So finding a deck that works well with me to be able to deliver that message in a clear and concise and confident way is the best case scenario. So yeah, no, these two decks have been my go-tos for reading. So Claire Mack is a genius. More of a genius than I'm sure she gives herself credit for. Love this deck so much. It's perfect. When the Faceted Garden Oracle comes back into print, I will be getting a copy. I'm kind of kicking myself for not grabbing one before, but it's coming back, so I will keep an eye out for it. She's also working on a tarot deck, which is art's done. We just need to get it printed, so hopefully soon that one will be a thing. And you bet your butt I will be picking up that one as well, because they're just infinitely useful. So I also went to the thrift store and got a bunch of really cheap scarves, and I've just been tying my decks and wrapping them in them, and it feels great. It's like a fun old-fashioned way to kind of keep them. And I have one that's actually a hand-dyed silk scarf that I found at the thrift store at Valley Village, and it's like even signed by the person's name. It feels delicious, and it's just such a nice way to keep, the Ashura Tarot lives in that one. And the Ashura Tarot is really cool actually. And I found out what Ashura means and by complete accident. Okay, aside, tangent, we have a tangent. All right, so this is the Ashura Tarot. I'm not sure, have I shown it on my channel yet? Maybe, it's been around. Anyway, it's a delight. I've had it for a few months now. It's a little mini kind of thothy clone. It's very Tree of Life-y. It's a wonderful little deck. Here, I'll give you some actual good footage of it. Again, the name of the creator escapes me. I've just been using it. I haven't been thinking too hard about, you know, its origin, the creator, or like the creator of the deck, as you know, well as other like superficial things. I've just kind of been using it really and like tapping into that bottom part of my brain with it. But Ashura is a Canaanite version of the name of the consort to Yahweh / God. So God's wife is Ashura, and this deck is named after her. And I think that's so beautiful. I had no idea that's what the word meant. I didn't think to look it up. I just, you know, sometimes you're just like, why didn't I think to look that up? Because it sounds like it would be important. But anywho, I was watching a documentary about, oh, the history of religion, as one does. And it came up and I was like, oh, I have a tarot deck named after her. So that's really cool. So yeah, if you're looking in, if you're interested in the history of religion whatsoever, have a look into Ashura. It's really cool. So anywho, fun aside about the Ashura Tarot, which is one that I highly recommend. This is Printer Studio, I think, or Game Crafter. One or the other. I think I'll do my best to link it down below if you want to look into a copy of it. It comes in this mini size as well as normal tarot size, but for some reason this like little pocket bridgey size is just so nice. So anywho, that's a fun one. But I haven't been using it that much this past month, but it's been around. Where was I going when I found that aside? Where did that even come from? I think I've lost it. I was talking about something. Anyway, if it comes to me, I will bring it up again later. But yeah, no, for now, that's kind of what I've been up to when it comes to reading for other people. When it comes to reading for myself, doing my own personal readings, I've still been pulling my daily card from the Days of Creation. And look who came up today. Look who's back. This is important. This is really important. And we will talk about that in a brief moment. This is Mercury. So Mercury popped out of my Davis deck, which is one of the ones I use for daily energetic draws, and that's a big deal. I've also been using, I've kind of been going back to like, again, the roots. I've been really leaning into Morgan Greer, which guys, I need a new bag for this, like desperately. The box is kaput. It doesn't even hold together anymore. It's tattered beyond belief. So I think I use this one often enough, especially for reading for myself, that I think I'm gonna get a nice pouch for it. Maybe a nice leather one. And I'm thinking this one may be going on an adventure really shortly as well. So anyway, I've been using the Morgan Greer for myself. I've been using the Hermetic Tarot for doing my deck and walk stuff. But you guys, you know why I love the vibe of this, you know. So yeah, the Morgan Greer has just been a friendly companion in a nice neutral, like, it's a beautiful mix of projecting myself into the future as well as the nostalgic kind of vibes of the artwork and when it was created, as well as being very similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith as well. So it kind of gives me the classic tarot comfort of actually using an older Golden Dawn style deck. So that's fun. And I've also been back to regularly using. I took a little bit of a break from regularly using the Hellenic Oracle just because there was a brief time there where a lot of decks showed up in my life at once. So when that happens, I tend to just kind of like calm everything else down, go back to the core, the ones I really like using, you know, the ones at the heart of my practice, and obviously this is one of them, and I've been getting some really good readings with it too. So Aries. Yeah. And I'm sure at this point you all know where this one came from. Ah, fell. Hera. Hera's being sneaky. But anywho. Anyway. So yeah, the Hellenic Oracle has been being paired with the other decks, read on its own, and offering exactly what I need to hear these days. So it's been great. Got a new pillow thinking that my leg going to sleep situation would be less, and perhaps it is, but right now my foot's a bit tingly and it's a bit weird. Oh yeah, and this is one that goes really well with the Hellenic Oracle. I was very hesitant to get in the beginning. This one I bought entirely on a whim. I was in a, I thought I didn't want it. I thought it wasn't for me. I thought it was too different. I thought they changed too many things. I wasn't like super into the whole divine feminine nature of it, because I've got enough other all-female decks. Do I? I don't know. Maybe? Yeah, kind of. Hard to say. Actually, that's probably a lie. I don't have very many all-female. Like entirely female, but I don't know. I feel like I have enough. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I guess I have enough decks that exude feminine energy. I like a more neutral and balanced, a bit of both decks usually. But for some reason, I just was in a place and I got it. I got it. The Intuitive Night Goddess. This is by, creator's name is not on the box. It's on the book. Lindsay Silverman, Eye of Astro, is the creatrix of the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. And I've been pairing this with the Hellenic Oracle, and it works really nicely, because these are because the Hellenic Oracle is all deities, right? It's all Greek gods. It's very up here, right? It's not very mundane at all. This one is also meets it up there, because these are all divine feminine entities. They're all an aspect of spirit. They're all a representation of whatever archetype they are associated with in the divine realm, which is tarot, you know? So it goes really well. So it's got, this is the base tarot archetypes, whereas some of the tarot archetypes are in the Hellenic Oracle, but not all 78. Mind you, they could be. I haven't actually tried yet. One of these days I think I might try, because of those 90 cards. I think 78 of them could match up. Be interesting if they did. But anyway, those 78 cards are like the system that I like to heavily rely on in getting my messages from the universe. So having a set system and then throwing the Hellenic Oracle on top of that has like, they kind of match each other in energy level. It works really well, and they look really nice together. So I'll show you some of the cards. There's quite a few really good walkthroughs available of this deck online. It publishes it. It's not a US Games deck. Ulysses Press, I think? Yeah, Ulysses Press, which, hey, don't mind that actually. That kind of tracks as well. But yeah, I find this deck to be one of the most, if I were to give it a tarot card to associate to the whole deck, I would give it the Strength card. It's that soft strength. It's that tender, loving strength. It's that divine feminine energy. It's the, you know, empowering but soft and gentle. It holds you while it also guides you, and I really like that about it. It's really nice. Like, it doesn't, I wouldn't go so far as to say it light washes, because all the cards are present. We have them all. Some of the names have been, let me find one that's been changed. Actually, a lot of the major arcana have been changed. So even the Chariot has been renamed Freedom, and I'm like, that's different. But at the same time, if I give myself permission to sit and think about it and how that particular keyword is associated with what I understand of the Chariot, I can make it work, and having it be different is also okay. I'm trying to come around to that idea that even like it may not exactly fit, it might be sort of different, but there is value in that difference. The differences between decks are what makes them unique and important, and if they were all exactly the same, then what would the point be, you know? So I'm trying to get better in that regard with myself and not be such a stickler for things being exactly the way they should be, you know? Or the way I think they should be, because who am I? Who am I to say how something should be, especially with tarot? Let me find another major arcana card that's changed. Yeah, so the lovers has been, because it's a divine femme, there's one person on the deck. It's been renamed the Wayfarer, so it's really leaning on the idea of choice and commitment to a path. See, we've got two paths there beneath her, and then there's Jupiter up at the top. So there's a few planetary references as well, which is kind of fun, but it's, again, a different take on that card, but a valuable take nonetheless, and I don't feel like the deck is any less powerful or useful or accurate because the traditional lovers imagery isn't in it, you know? Moon's still the moon. They're really pretty though, and I find this is a deck that looks better in person than online. On video. A lot of them, they look better in video, and then you get them and you're like, oh, that's all right. This one tends to have like, it glows in a sort of soft, radiant kind of way that just doesn't pick up on camera. So I don't know, I've been really liking it. Oh, and the suits are different too. So it's Nymph is page warrior is knight, queen, and then we've got spirit for the king of that was wands, and all of the spirit ones, which are the kings, have glowy eyes, so we like that. That's fun. Where is, I need another major that's different. Please? Nope. Nope. Oh yeah, here's a good one. So our magician has been turned to the witch, but you've still got our standard above and below imagery. All of the elements are there. We've got a pentacle, a sword, a big wand, and there should be a cup there somewhere too. Yeah, right in the bottom corner. So it's all there. It's very, you know, traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, but flipped on its head a little bit. Oh, it's just gorgeous, and I've been really, really enjoying it. This one here is the Hierophant, and it's been changed to the Mystic, and this is one I actually kind of really like the change. It's just, who doesn't want to swim under the moon at night in a garden full of poppy flowers? You know, and that, you know, brings, like, those are opium poppies too, so it definitely brings the opiate of the masses sort of perspective on organized religion and fun stuff to think about, but it's also pretty and beautiful, and like she's got seashells in her hair. She's kind of giving me Aphrodite vibes, which is fun. So anyway, it's, I've really been liking using it more than I thought I would. So I'm happy that I took the random whim of the chance to go for something that I otherwise kind of would have deemed a little bit superfluous or a flourish or a shallower deck than something like crazy deep and filled with all sorts of symbolism. Like this is, I don't know, it's just really nice, and I'm kind of angry at myself for prejudging it without trying it, I guess. Yeah, some of the minors are a little pippy, but we know we love a good pippy deck. 3 cups there. Yeah. So anyway, I could talk about it more, but I won't. If you're interested, watch a walkthrough, make up your own mind about it, and see what you think, and if it's something that fits into your collection. But it's a good deck, good price point, and goes really well with the Hellenic Oracle. And then a couple others that I've been doing often pulls with, like this Peggy bag, by the way. Actually, that matches this one, the Intuitive Night Goddess, really well, but I'm not gonna dislodge this deck from this pouch because it needs to live in here also. This is a Tantric Dakini Oracle. I've had this one for a couple months now. It's kind of a tarot, kind of an oracle. It's got the major arcana in it, and it has the 40 cards, the aces through 10s of each suit, but there's no court cards. And they're all kind of named a bit weird. They're very wonky and very strange, but I just really like it. This is such a fun deck to kind of turn tarot on its head a little bit. It's based around Eastern mysticism in the Tantric tradition, but I've also heard from people who actually know a thing about Tantra that it is not, the creators of the deck did not know as much as perhaps they thought they did, and it's kind of a mishmash between Tibetan and Zen Buddhism in a weird way. So it's kind of like, and both are very different, and they kind of squish them together. So I kind of, what I do with this particular deck is, instead of using it as like a tool to understand those practices, I dissociate this from the practices, and I take the deck for what it is at face value in the moment I need. So I'm not using this as a resource on Tantra at all. It's just kind of its own deck that kind of has a bit of an Eastern slant to it. I really like the way that the messages on this deck allow me to think about life in a kind of different spiritual perspective that you don't really get in tarot traditionally. So I'll show you some cards while I'm yammering. So yeah, this is a High Priestess, and they have her as Isis here, which is interesting. Oh, and it's based on the Dakinis as well, which again, I know nothing about. I haven't even read the intro to the book. I've just been kind of using the cards as oracle messages. I read their page, and then I pull either a tarot or another oracle card next to it to kind of get a feeling about my day. And so far they've been really fun, and they've been lining up in kind of a really great way. So I've been really enjoying using it, and I think I will continue to, words in a row, the correct order. I really like this Emperor card as well. It's called the Hot Seat, and if that's not a perfect personification of the Emperor, then I don't know what it is. It takes the shadowy aspects of the Emperor that we've come to kind of learn in the West and throws them on their head, and it's like, how would you feel if you were the person who is in the hot seat? Like, how does that feel to you? What does what does that mean to you in that way? And it's like, okay, maybe they're not all bad. Maybe they're put in a place where they have to make the hard decisions and then have to bear the brunt of those decisions afterwards. And it's, you know, the position itself does demand a little bit more respect than we give it. So anyway, very interesting. What else we got here? Island of Jewels. It's vintage collage art. So this deck is from the 70s was when it was first created. This particular printing was like 2005 or something, I think. But there's our Hermit card. Key to the universe. Oh, I like this one. This is the World card. And it's called Earthbound. And it's really cool because it's like, oh, there's the Earth, but also here's the Earth. It's like seeing the Earth from the Earth. An out, as within, so without sort of situation, and I like it. Our Fool's the Joker. Look at that. So yeah, it's definitely a fun, whimsical deck that's full of like japery as well as deep and big concepts as well. This one's self-preservation, and this is the Eight of Swords. So we'll think about the Eight of Swords in the context of self-preservation, like you're trapped, but it's you that's trapping yourself in an attempt to preserve, like you're trying to protect yourself, but ultimately it's a detriment. You're not gonna get anywhere if you're so busy shielding yourself from the rest of the world and like cutting off not just the danger but also the opportunity, right? So anyway, it's just great. It's great. And this deck pairs beautifully with some other recent faves as well. The Cosmic Tribe Tarot goes really well with this. The Ritual Tarot goes really well with this. The Daydreaming in Situ Tarot goes really well with this. Voyager Tarot would as well. Haven't paired them just yet, but probably will. So, you know, as collage decks go, this one is just, it's delightful. There's some other fun ones. There's a boob. Mother's Milk. Magic Carpet. I got this one a few times already. It's called Survival. And there's like a slag pile, and then there's a little growth growing in it. So, you know, it's about, well, it depends on your interpretation and perspective. But it could be just slogging it out through a bad situation, or it could be like, you know, you can grow. You just have to adapt to. It's not all about escaping. It's about adapting to the situation. Yeah. Anywho. Oh, I got this one a few times too. The Serpent Power card. This is Eight of Wands. Yeah, very, yeah. Shock of Kundalini energy and, you know, doing the thing, getting her done. Swiftness in the old-fashioned sense. So, anywho, yes, it's a beautiful deck. I really like it. So I've been using that one, and it lives in this bag with a hunk of tiger's eye and basalt, which I think goes well. Very volcano-y, you know. Hunk of igneous rock as that fire earth energy, which I think what this kind of embodies nicely, and then tiger's eye, which is, well, you know, tiger's eye. So they go well. And the last deck that I kind of leaned on this last few weeks is one that just, I really wanted to do the Good Mood Decks video, but I've just been in kind of a crabby mood the last few weeks. So I couldn't do the Good Mood Decks video because I've been kind of grumpy. I've been like summertime sadnessy, really. I've been in a funk, I guess. So I leaned on my Sacred Rebels Oracle, and I feel more myself. Things are happening that, you know, I'm feeling more myself now. But yeah, the last few weeks while I was gone, I was just, I don't know, going through a lot, I guess. Maybe not a lot. Nothing really happened per se, but. Oh, I forgot to mention too, I went to a barbecue with some friends that I haven't seen for 2.5 years. It was a bit of a road trip. We had to drive 5.5 hours away to go see them, which is the town we used to live in. And we drove down there, and as I said, we hadn't seen these friends in 2.5 years since pre-pandemic, and I was prepared for what it was going to be like, because a lot of them have kids that they didn't have kids last time I saw them. Most of them do have kids. I do not have children just yet. So it was a very different dynamic than I'm used to. But I was bracing myself. I was prepared for the change it was going to be, but it still hit me as a bit of a shock. So when I got home from that, I very much felt like, okay, I had to like grieve the past a little bit. Like, you know, when you going about your business, life's all well and good, and then something happens that just reminds you that things are very different than they used to be, and they're never going to be like that again. So it was like, okay, past is over, and I'm going to be sad about it for a little while. So there was that. That was the thing. I was like, oh, I've lost my friends to their kids, but that's fine. People are allowed to live their lives and do the thing, and it just, yeah, no, I need to take some time to kind of think about that kind of stuff. But while I was there, I did a couple of readings for some of my friends, and it was nice. It was like dark out, the kids had gone to bed. I laid my little towel out on the grass, lit some candles, lit some incense, and just like did it on the ground, very like classic picnic style, and pulled some cards. And like neither of them had ever had like a proper tarot reading before, so like I went all in. We did like the mountain of cards. I was like, I started with a 9 card, and then we pulled 3 more, and we pulled 3 more, and threw some oracle cards on top, and we got into some really juicy and delicious stuff, and it was great, and it was just a really good experience for both me as well as them. So that was really fun, and it was like an honor to be able to do that for them. But again, like when I got home, I felt I was sad. I was very sad that, you know, that part of life is over, but that's okay, because that means it's time to move on and start a new part. So very excited about that. Anywho, Sacred Rebels Oracle is one that kind of helps me when I start to get in a funk, because this is my like rising. This deck is my rising sign. This deck is the me that I want to put out in the world. You know, this is the me that I desperately want on the surface to be like. That like free spirit, that like the Page of Wands energy, the Sagittarius in me, it just wants to be like, that's the part of me that I like throw out in front of me, or the way that, you know, a lot of people see me as. And I kind of needed to, like, I was feeling sad, I was feeling pulled back, so I needed to kind of, working with this one again was really great. And then one of the first cards that I pulled while I was working with it is number 34, in the world, not of the world. And this card, it always makes me feel things. I'll show you. The art's by Autumn Sky Morrison, by the way, and the guidebook is Alana Fairchild. And it's one of those ones that has like a novel that you have to read for each card. So I usually only pull 1 or 2 based on how I'm using it, the question, what have you. But here we go. This is beautiful. I love this art. It just is filled with so much feeling. And this particular, this phrase, in the world, not of the world, it comfortably, like, without being too like, I'm not like other people, I'm like, where you get to like a little too dissociative with the whole starseed energy, where I'm not from here, I'm from somewhere else, I'm not meant to be here, I want to go home kind of stuff. I find that extremely unhealthy. But just recognizing that maybe right now you don't feel super included, and that's okay, because you yourself are valid and important as you are, and maybe you're just not where you're supposed to be right now. Maybe this moving forward needs to happen, and you need to get to where you're going. And this card kind of, and it helps a lot. So and just like, look at the joy, look at the abandon and the freedom, and just the feeling of exhilaration. Like, she's filled with life energy, and that like, yes, I'm here, I'm in the world. Like, there's more to life than just the Pentacles suit, I guess, is kind of how I feel it, you know? There's more to living in this world than just being daily, practical, and concerned with time and energy and resources, you know? Gotta interject some Wands energy into my life. So anyway, Sacred Rebels Oracle, this one has been filling my cup. I also had a nice lunch with my boss right before we jumped into doing the readings more regularly, so things are happening and it's very exciting. So yeah, lunch with boss was really great. Things are rolling, things are moving, and then when things start to move, they gain momentum as they go, and then the little rock at the top of the mountain turns into a giant snowball by the bottom of it. So what happened is, bring my boy out because he's been helping and guiding in this particular department very well. Right after the lunch I had with my boss, she came by, she brought her hippie van. She's converted well, the van came converted. It's an old VW bus, and it's a camper. She's taking it around, living the dream, traveling, you know, as one does. So yeah, I'm very excited for her. I think that's fantastic, and it fills me with such hope and excitement, like secondhand excitement, I guess. So anyway, that was exciting. And then just that evening, I got a message from Heather, the woman that I stayed with in Greece when I was there, and we were chatting, and I just thought, you know what, it's time, it has to happen. And then as soon as that thought entered my brain, it's like the thought just took over my whole body, and I couldn't stop thinking, and I had to plan it, and I planned it. In less than 48 hours, I had my tickets booked. So, with exciting news, I'm here to say that I'm going back to Greece, knock on something wooden, for 2 weeks, the end of September, beginning of October this year. And I'm staying with Heather on Skopelos, and I'm going to clear trails, and I'm going to live my best life, and just kind of make another wonderful pilgrimage to this place that I love so much, that fills my soul and fills my cup and fills my heart with so much purpose, meaning, and just lets me be myself in a way that being where I am right now doesn't. So I'm very excited about this, and I can't wait. I've pulled my backpack out. Stuart, he's out of the closet. He's out of the closet. I've got my packing cubes out and ready. I'm thinking about, I've already decided which decks I'm taking with me, because of course that was priority number one, and you'll probably won't be shocked to hear what they are, but maybe we'll save that for a later video. And yeah, I think it'll be the motivation I need, so when I get back I can start getting right into the projects I want to get into. I just want to tap into the energy of that place a little bit more directly, and I'm just, the fact that it came together so seamlessly. I got really cheap flights. I don't have to pay for accommodation. I got the time off work, absolutely no problem. I just messaged her and she was like, yeah, do it, go for it, girl. And I'm like, okay. The only major hurdle was husband, and he knows that I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, so yeah, no, he was totally fine with it. So yeah, I'm gonna miss my dogs, but that's okay. It's only 2 weeks, I'll be back. So yes, I hopefully will get lots of delicious content, and I think I'm gonna try make some essences while I'm there and bring them back. Maybe grab myself a little bit of dirt too, you know, all that regular witchy shit. But yeah, I haven't made proper essences before. I'm usually more of a drying and burning kind of person, so. I do have a specific list of things that I want to bring back though. Some proper Greek olive leaves have been on my list for a while, kind of hard to find here. What other ingredients was I after? I do want some water from the Mediterranean, because that particular body of water is all kinds of extra mystical to me, the way I see it, just being in it, my experiences with it, what it's close to, what other things are attached to it. Like, it's very, you know, that part of the world, something about that part of the world is special for other reasons than just what we think. So anywho, so I'd like some of that. Try and smuggle it back into the country. Yeah, just find my way back to seeing the world the way I want to, maybe making some new friends, some new connections, building those relationships with people as opposed to things, which is, you know, what I want to do. There is a time and a place for things. There's a time and a place for study and learning, but really, ultimately, you can be a student all your life. If you don't put into practice some of the things that you've learned, then what's the point of learning them? I find. So I need to get out there. I need to, you know, be in the world for a little bit. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so that's my news. That's my big news. Yep. So, super exciting. So yeah, needless to say, I'm absolutely pumped. I'm gonna eat all of the Kolokithokeptedes, and I need to put Duolingo back on my phone so I can practice. I was doing Greek lessons for about a year, probably that first year of the pandemic, and I was getting pretty good at it, but then it felt like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to go back there again because the world's stupid, so I just stopped doing them. But I need to get back into it so I can communicate a little bit better. See, because last time I knew like 4 words in Greek when I went. This time I know more, so I think it'll be more fun, and maybe we'll spend some time actually learning Greek in Greece. And yeah, so let me know if you have any questions down below. If you're interested in booking a reading before I go, get your name on the list. Sign up via the website. I'll link it down below too. There's a couple of different options. I can do custom spread options, and if you're, you know, in need of a particular payment schedule, whatever, I'm very flexible is what I'm saying. So just send me a message. I will look after you if you want. And more than happy to offer some guidance with the help of the cards. So yeah, if you're into it, check it out. And then if, yeah, the Hellenic Oracle link will be down there too if you want, but no pressure, no obligation. It's the thing. More important than the thing is the relationships that we form with the spirits represented. So yeah. Anywho, thank you so much for being here. I guess I'm out of things to say. Oh, I did get an olive tree though. Actually, I missed one thing I was going to talk about. While I was down visiting the friends in the other city, the 5.5 hours away, it was Windsor. We went to a greenhouse and they had olive trees, and it's just a little one. It's like this big with 2 big branches that stick out the side. And I was like, that's fine now. I need to get it. So it lives in the kitchen next to my lemon and my rosemary plant that I both grew from seeds. So we're a pomegranate away from Eden. Apparently there's a thing somewhere that says the Garden of Eden has different layers of trees around it. Like there's your apple trees, and then your citrus trees, and then your what else is there? Cypress, yew, and then a pomegranate, and then is there another one? Anyway, so you gotta have all of those to, you know, represent Eden. Anyway, I'm a pomegranate away. I don't have a pomegranate tree. But anyway, that's fine. It's just a little fun personal side project-y thing. Whatevs. I didn't also do a mandatory garden update. There's just so much to talk about. Maybe I'll pop a little bit in here. Things are growing. It's been dry and I've been kind of not ignoring it, but just I've been letting it do its thing. And mulched a bit. Things are a bit frothy at the moment, I guess is the best way to say it. The Nigella's out. It's really pretty. Maybe I'll throw some nice footage of it in. Little patch of self-seeded Nigella, also called Love in a Mist, and I just think they're so beautiful. And there's like little spiky leaves, and then the puffs, and then when they go to seed, they've got these little seed pods. I also grew some opium poppies for the first time ever, which was fun. I finally recognized what the seedlings look like, so I don't weed them out. So that was a nice bonus of not weeding this year. Got some beautiful opium poppies, and now the heads are making the seeds, which I'll collect and use later on, which is fun. The Achilles out. Fun, named after Achilles. Apparently it was something to do with the herb that his mom used when she dipped him in the river Styx, but anywho, yeah, no, plants have all sorts of fun associations. I'm like looking at the garden out the window while I'm chatting, but yeah, no, things are good. I'm just letting things happen and it just feels right. For once it feels right. I'm really excited about it. So anywho, it's been a rambly ending, but thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will see all of you fine people in my next video. Bye.